Hi everybody, welcome to Community Review. Now this week we're talking about Descent. Now I have the original Descent right here. I really liked the original game. It was pretty deep, but it was kind of overcomplicated at points. Um, the kids never adapted to it, I don't know why. And it just didn't click. Now, I can tell you when the second edition came out, Justin and I went to a convention and we had somebody show it to us. And we played a scenario where our heroes kept on getting knocked down and the monsters just stayed in a circle for the whole time and just kept knocking us down. So every time we would get up, we would get knocked back down. And they played it wrong. And we had such a bad taste in our mouth that we never opened up all our Descent stuff. Well, finally the app came out and then we decided to go back to it with Janice. And a funny thing about it, at that same time we were playing Warhammer Quest, the new one, the Age of Sigmar, and we were playing another dungeon crawl game. And we were advancing with it, but then we played with the app right after one night we played Warhammer Quest. We never went back to Warhammer Quest after that. That's how much we really like Descent. Descent with the app is a completely different game and a very immersive experience because you really don't know what's going on under there. And you can play cooperatively together as well as one person be the overlord. But we found that it was just a great and fun game. So we really liked the newer Descent. Love the old Descent, even though it's probably going to sit there for the rest of time and never do anything. But I think I just keep it there for historical value, like a lot of things I do, like myself, for historical value. Well, I've given you my thoughts. What's important now is to hear what everybody else says. So, why don't we do that?
Hey, Rob, and everyone else watching this. I was really excited that this second edition of this community review was going to be Descent. I didn't participate last week because it was Talisman, and I'm not a fan of Talisman. I don't own it. I know, Rob, you and your family do enjoy it. I know several people who do. So I just felt it was better. I do enjoy the app version, though, if that helps. But Descent, one of my favorite games of all time. The game that mostly got me back into miniatures painting, having not done it since my high school days, D&D, painting pewter miniatures. I really enjoy painting these. I've still got a bunch of them here, lieutenants that I've added recently that need to be painted, but the detail on them was so nice that it really makes them come alive on the table. But for me, where Descent really shines is the app. The app is beautiful. It allows me to not have to have an overlord. I can play the game by myself. I can play the game in a two-player, not feeling that one versus one. Also, a lot of times I feel like with an overlord player, a lot of times the overlord sometimes needs to go a little easier on the players to make it fun, whereas the app doesn't care about that. The app just does its job. I don't feel it interferes. It's especially nice if I were to say take this game and play it just with my girlfriend. I don't have to feel that me playing against her. We can play this cooperatively, but I also get the chance to play this by myself. The campaigns I find are very rich, even though there's a third one now, but there were only the two. But even so, the replayability for me was high due to the fact that even though I knew what the main quest would be, and that would vary in terms of how it played out, but the side quests, I never knew which side quests I was going to get, and then you get more side quest potential added every time you add something to the game. For me, it's a very fluid game. It plays really well. The app, again, like I said, I can't speak enough about how good this app is. And again, the miniature quality. So I was really excited to be able to talk about this game. I don't want to go into the gameplay because I'm sure most of the viewers in our community have played Descent. They know how it plays. But I wanted to step in here and say how much I love this game. I'm looking forward to adding even more I haven't found the need yet to add more expansions to the game, and I will over time. I'm excited to see what the new expansion does for it. I'm excited to paint every time I buy another lieutenant. I prime it immediately. I may not be able to get around to painting it right away, but I get it primed and ready to go, so the moment I have some time, I can paint it. And again, sometimes I just might want to do like a little sit and play of it by myself, and so I keep a campaign running by myself in it. I'm looking forward to seeing which game we do next. Descent was a great choice for the second one, and take care. Bye.
So you might wonder, what do I think about Descent Journeys in the Dark, the second edition of the game from Fantasy Flight? Let my collection speak for itself. As you can see, I may have spent a little bit too much money on some of the products associated with this game, and I have devoted way too much time trying to start painting all the minis that come with the game and the various expansions, hero and monster kits that come along with it. And this isn't even probably half of the other figures that I haven't even begun to touch yet. Sad thing is look at this collection, and I've only sat down to play the game with some friends of mine once, and that was after the Road to Legend app came out, just because my normal gaming group is only 3 to 4 people, and I just feel that that's a little small of a group to really do the game justice with somebody playing the Overlord. But with the app allowing us all to play cooperatively against the game in its entirety, we found that to be pretty enjoyable, and I look forward to more times when we can get it to the table and try out some of the different monsters that come from the expansions and some of the new heroes as well. This is one of the first games that I've really tried to devote a lot of time to painting, and ever since I've joined Rob's channel, this has been one that's been sitting on my painting table and slowly getting worked on over the course of, I'm embarrassed to say, probably almost 2 years. But slow and steady. I'm not as fast as Rob, but I have to say I really do like this game. I love the fantasy theme, and the new app really has gone a long way towards making this playable, whether you want to try it solo or with a smaller gaming group if you can't get the full 4 or 5 people to the table to really do a full campaign with the Overlord setting. So those are my thoughts on Descent and a quick glimpse at my collection and work in progress. Thank you so much.
Hey Rob, hey people. Hi, my name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and today we are talking about Descent. Well, I had to find Descent because I put it far away, but here it is, Descent. Now, this is Descent 2, which is a horror movie about some people going into a cave, and well, there's a lot happening there. There are monsters there, which makes for a very exciting... Oh, it's a board game. Oh, okay. Sorry, Rob. So, Descent. Well, I don't have Descent. If I only knew. Yes, Descent. I've heard it is a great game. I've played it once even, and I liked it a lot. The reason why I don't have it is because it plays one versus all, and I have a hard time getting those games on the table to find one player who leads the game or plays the bad guys and the other one playing it. So that's why I don't have it. Now, there is an app out there which allows you to play completely cooperative, so that made me think about still getting the game later in my collection, because that sounds very interesting. So if you are also someone who was held back because one player had to play the evil dude, but now you don't have to anymore, you can get the app for free, you can get expansions. I think you have to pay a little bit for it, but still it might be a great idea to try this one out. I think I will someday if money allows it. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, and if you're looking for a good movie, you might try out Descent. Bye bye.
So this week I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Descent, since that is our community video. Kind of give it a little different take on it. I actually was looking at Descent a little while back, and I wanted to compare it to something else just to see what I liked. I watched a lot of videos, watched a lot of playthroughs, and I was comparing it, essentially it and Shadows of Brimstone, and I actually came out and went with Shadows of Brimstone. So I wanted to kind of give some reasons why, just to give a kind of a different perspective. The biggest reason for me to do Shadows of Brimstone over Descent was the aspect of the leveling up. I felt like the system to level up was a little bit more engaging. It was a little bit more structured. I felt like I could really thematically do more with it than Descent. I also, in looking at the Descent books, some of those scenarios, and then thinking and looking at Shadows of Brimstone and some of those books, and just kind of looking, projecting the longevity of the product. In my opinion, I just felt like Shadows of Brimstone was going to last longer and had more replay value overall. And so I ended up going with Shadows of Brimstone for that reason as well. And probably the third reason, and I really struggled with this because I'm not a painter. Unfortunately, I wish I was. I wish I had skills like Rob, but I don't. But I'm not a painter, and I've done very little construction. Of course, one of the big differences between Descent and Shadows of Brimstone is that you have to not only would need to paint your miniatures, but you have to put them together. And taking the time, it took me 9.5 hours to do the City of the Ancients core set. I don't know if that's par, but that's how long it took me to cut them off, shave them, get the flashing off that didn't need to be there, and make them look half decent. And I really almost didn't go with it for that reason. But in my mind, thematically, and because of the gameplay aspects, and honestly, I know some people don't like the dice rolling, but I really enjoyed rolling a lot of dice to see what happened. A little bit more randomness, but not so much that it became a completely luck-based game. That's why I chose to go with Shadows of Brimstone over Descent. So if you guys are out on the fence, maybe this will help you. I would say, just in closing, that I've really enjoyed being a part of the community that Rob helped start and build. Definitely a proud subscriber. And I know Rob always talks about the community and how we're the community, but it has to have a leader, has to have a guy that started it. And Rob, thank you for your vision in doing that. So hope to see you guys in the next community review.
Hi folks, today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the board game Descent. My history with Dungeon Crawlers goes back to 1989 when Hero Quest came out. Wow, what a game. We finally get to go around the dungeon with miniatures and beat-up orcs and all sorts of stuff. It was later followed in 90 with Space Crusade, which is another game that I really loved with a science fiction theme, and I still own to this day. Roll on to 2004, and those people at Fantasy Flight released a game called Doom. Again, a game I love very much, and I hope to finally have finished painting the miniatures and get them up to show. Then in 2005, the first edition of Descent came in this absolutely humongously large box. They called them coffin boxes, and quite honestly, you probably could bury somebody inside one of them. What a wonderful game. You could play standalone scenarios, or you could run campaigns. We did Road to Legend, and it was absolutely monumental. Roll forward a couple of years, and then second edition came out, and like hungry children in a sweet shop, my friends grabbed it eagerly, and we played it. And although we appreciated that the scenario time was cut down to maybe an hour, hour and a half from the original 4 hours that first edition could play, we kind of felt something was missing from it. The campaign seemed a bit, I don't know, just not the same as Road to Legend. Now, don't get me wrong here. I am not necessarily somebody that thinks bigger is better or more complicated is the way to go. In fact, quite the opposite. I like the simple mechanics in some games, and I like quick play times. But there was just things missing from second edition that weren't there. The notion of, I can't remember the exact phrase, but we'll call it Overwatch, where you kind of act out of turn, and it seemed very diluted, and certainly a game more for the mass market. we didn't enjoy second edition as much. In fairness, I have to point out that we haven't tried it with an app, so maybe that would make it, a better experience for us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Descent is an absolutely legendary game, and for me, my favourite flavour out of the two versions is still first edition. But I think, and have played second edition now with some of my gaming friends that are very casual, and they find it much more to their liking, having these shorter scenarios and less complicated and lengthy campaigns.
Well, there you have it. All the thoughts on Descent. What a great job by everybody, and some really great videos. Some guys there have some talent, and I hope they'll be back next week, as maybe we pick a game, something everybody can have a comment about, because I know that everybody at one point has played this game. And what game would that be? Well, looking on my shelves, I think I've made a pretty good decision. Ticket to Ride. Okay? Good thoughts, bad thoughts, whatever thoughts you have, I know that everybody's pretty much played Ticket to Ride, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Talk about the game, talk about the 10th anniversary edition, talk about the new Rails and Sails, talk about all the expansions or the different boards, or maybe there's one version that really sticks out in your head that you've played that you enjoyed, or maybe you just hate it and there's a reason for hating it. I would love to hear it all. I would love to hear it, and of course, send your videos to me. Make sure they're in a window format, so they format to Windows. So if you do something on a Mac or something, make sure that I can convert it over to a Windows format. So how do you send those videos? That's very easy. Either 30 seconds or 3 minutes, you can go over, that's fine. And send them to novaprime860@hotmail.com, or send them through Google Drive, and you can use this address, novaprime8@gmail.com. I look forward to all your submissions, all your thoughts, and everything you think. So please, be a part of the community review. And that's it for this week's community review. Thank you so much for being a huge part of it. And maybe we'll make a title page for this segment too, since it's starting to take off, and I really enjoy it, because the best part of it is you guys. You guys get to have your input and be part of the channel. So until next time, I'm Rob Orrin, and thank you to all the fantastic contributors this week to the Descent Community Review. Until next time, I'm Rob Orrin, and we'll see you soon.